What's up YouTube gamers, it's your computer engineering gamer back with some fresh new content, and Assassin's Creed is set to release another mainline game following Assassin's Creed Mirage in the coming year. Assassin's Creed Codename Red is set to be placed in historical Japan, and I know, the shirt is fire. According to the game's radar, Ubisoft has stated that the next installment in the game series is meant to be the cornerstone as the future of their open world RPG games. Coming out of the Quebec studios, Codename Red is rumored to have two protagonists coming from different walks of life, with one being a shinobi, or what is considered a modern-day ninja, and a samurai, the military protectors of the shogunate. This is further supported by the two images that Ubisoft tweeted out. The first one pictures a shinobi in what looks like the Jade Mountains, and the second one is a samurai with two swords on the back of a red outline. Now, looking at both of these images, these could be our two playable characters. This is up for question as to whether it will work similarly to Syndicate, where you can switch up between the Fry twins at will. However, this exists in contrast, as instead of being closely related, the two walk different paths of life and may be looked at in different story times. With this fiercely interesting time in history and the long historical culture of Japan, many fans, including myself, have been begging and waiting for a Japanese-based Assassin's Creed game. Now that has come to fruition, I'm going to go over the top 5 things that I am hoping for are in the upcoming title. Disclaimer, I will be including spoilers from the past games for some explanation. Starting with number 5, the landscapes of Japan. Now this is much more of an obvious one, but I am absolutely stoked to see the setting of feudal period Japan. This time period will hopefully sprout itself with a large map with very much of Japan accessible, including Tokyo, Kyoto, and other cities. More so than that, however, I hope that they give us a widespread view of the Japanese countryside. The sprawling ocean and islands looked absolutely stunning in Odyssey, and Valhalla went for an extensively larger map of open land graphics. My hope is that there's an extensive amount of time spent bounced between the cities and outside, with a potential hideout similar to the homestead in AC3. Number 4, the invasion of the Mongolian Empire. Now this is right up the alley of Assassin's Creed, as they often like to place the character in historical moments and conflicts, and the defense of Japan from the invading Mongols would make a perfect addition. Placing the samurai character in the brunt of the fighting while the shinobi works in the dark could show two different sides of the coin that entangles this. It could pose a problem for my number 2 thing I want to see, or an addition, but we'll get there in a bit. The invasion would lead into a bulk of history for Japan. We could get a glimpse of the historical Kublai Khan and weaponry utilized by both countries. As well as this, it could be an interesting way to show the victory over the Mongols, with the samurai holding out until a tsunami forced a Mongolian retreat. This defense drove the shogunate into financial burden and led to the rebellion and overthrow of the Kamakura shogunate. An interesting ploy on history is having the Mongols show up as the historical Templar, and the Japanese are supported by the Assassin's Guild. However, I have another way to tie all these historical events together, so stick around because this is good stuff I got cooking. I will reveal this on the number 2 pick. Either way, I believe the Mongol invasion is a good point of turmoil to bring into the story. Number 3, the modern day exploration missions. Now this is a big point of contention. I know, a lot of people say, we don't want any of the new modern day missions, and this subtracts from the story in the animus and just pulls us out of what we want to see in the immersion. Listen, I hear you. We don't play the games for the modern day story, and it remains a small part of the game and completely missing from Mirage. However, with the multiple game build-up of lore for Basim, following the events of Mirage into Valhalla and bringing Basim into the present day, Ubisoft has the opportunity to have this old age assassin come into the modern world. Another factor that plays into this is the introduction to the new idea of the reader, and the possibility that he is Desmond Miles. Will there be a continuation of Sean and Rebecca looking into the Yetagristle and finding how Desmond was preserved? Who knows? Does this lead to a search for an artifact in Japan that would potentially give eternal life within the infinite universes that there are to be explored? Or maybe the reader will approach the assassins and prompt them to Japan and guide them to different locations that are relevant to what the modern day assassins are seeking. Anyway, I know personally I am one who wants to know more. Number 2, a potential rivalry for the two protagonists. Now hear me out. We have had Assassin's Creed Syndicate, which allows you to play as 2 assassin characters, and we've had Assassin's Creed Rogue, where the character transitions from assassin to Templar. But what if we had 2 protagonists that are at odds with one another, and the Templar reforms from the Templar Order to the Assassins? Now the thought of 2 playable characters that are at odds with an assassin shinobi and the Templar samurai. These 2 factions are set up perfectly to represent the 2 different orders, and how they have been portrayed in previous installments in the series. As it happens, the Shinobi's founding can be traced back to feudal Japan, so potential for the Assassin's Guild to set up their first bureau in Japan will be the founding of Shinobi. Modern depictions of Shinobi, like the Assassins, live their lives in the shadows, striking at their targets and slipping away unfound. The Templar Order has generally been been seen in positions of power and abusing it, or using it to control the masses and influence major players behind the scenes. The feudal daimyo system and ruling lords with the high shogun present the perfect opportunity for the Templars to insert themselves in the Japanese order of living. This ties into the previous number 4 Mongolian invasion and the rebellion that overthrew the shogun at the time. We could see the Templar samurai become distasteful of the Templars following the Mongolian invasion, and the potential for the tsunami that drove away the Mongols being part of a Templar act using an Isu artifact to create this tsunami. Much like Shay seeing the effects of taking the artifact and the destruction of Lisbon driving him to forsaken the Assassin Order. I see this as a great opportunity for the opposite swing of things here, placing our two protagonists against each other, maybe even coming face to face on the battlefield against the Mongols, and our Shinobi protagonist leading the samurai into the bonds of the Assassin's Brotherhood following these events. I almost wish I was writing for Ubisoft because I feel like this is an amazing idea, but I'm also equally excited to see where Ubisoft takes the trajectory. And finally, number 1, Kusarigama or a Chainblade. The Chainblade is an absolutely insane weapon that I believe fits the type of Assassin's combat style. I fully believe a weapon of this caliber would be used by the Assassins and is developed to use against swordsmen, which would be the Templar Order samurai. This blade could be used in tandem with close-up assassinations as well as a ranged assassination. I can already see a special ability or aspect of the weapon being to throw it around an enemy and pull them either towards you or hang them from a post like you could in Assassin's Creed Rogue with the rope darts. However, unlike the rope darts, this could be used as a primary weapon, as well with the swinging animation keeping enemies at bay. My inspiration and want to see of this stems from the movie Ninja Assassin. I mean, the weapon is used in a movie with the name Ninja and Assassin. We are playing as a shinobi of the Assassin Order that is a definition of a ninja assassin. Tell me I am not cooking here. If anyone is looking forward to this game, I would encourage you to go watch. Watch at your own discretion, however, since there is a lot of blood and gore, so don't let your young child watch this. Although I would say I was a young teenager when I watched it, but that's not my problem. This movie shows the absolute brutality of the weapon and utility that it has, up close and far, as the main character in this movie has studied the weapon their entire life, much like an assassin studies the weapons. My only concern is that the weapon was developed after the time of the original Mongol invasions talked about previously, so that story goes out the window. But I think it would be plenty okay with that if this weapon was a free use, and Ubisoft has been known to kind of merge the years. And there you have it. Those are the things that I want to see from the new Assassin's Creed game. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, leave me a comment and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Until next time, remember, a man is lost without the sauce, but that same man can get lost in the sauce. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Later, gamers.